Oh my, I didn't expect that, and I didn't know that. And Michelle told me that there was going to be a surprise introduction. I had no idea. So I want to thank Michelle, thank the staff, and thank Jason, and I'll do so in person one of these days. So thank you for that kind introduction. Wow, what a conference this has been. These last 2 days of learning, sharing, connecting, and hoping have been tremendous. And so I know we've done this in the past, but I want to have a big round of applause for the FFB staff, for the speakers, for our sponsors, for the hotel staff, and most of all, for all of you who took time out of your lives to come to this Visions 2022. So let's hear it, bells and all. Thank you for being a part of this conference. And today, as we come to the close of our time together, I'd like for us to pause for just a moment and to envision what the next chapter of FFB can be. And as the message on your bell reads, in case you haven't read it or had someone read it to you, it says, "We will indeed move beyond possible to victory for vision." And that's what we want to do. Let me say how truly honored I am to be here with you today. It's my first Visions conference, and it won't be my last. And I'm very proud to be affiliated with FFB. Its status in the research community is so impressive, and what it's doing to move forward with the treatments and cures for these complex retinal diseases is very, very impressive. And the funding of their current research, some 74 research grants that have been awarded, with over 94 investigators in 65+ labs around the world, speaks to FFB's commitment to these difficult and challenging times. Let me say that FFB exemplifies an organization what I think balances tech and touch. And let me explain what I mean by that. We've all heard from tremendous scientists and clinicians and patients and companies at this conference how important the technology and the science has been in the last few decades that has advances the research that will find victory for vision in the future. But that's not the only thing that FFB stands for. Think about that amazing keynote speaker, Chad Foster, and the opening panel of 3 gentlemen who talked about their journey in navigating their complex vision challenges. What a way to touch us. And in addition to that, I know all of you have connected in the mixers, in the conversations in the hallway, and with each other as we've shared our stories and learned from each other. And that's what I truly mean about the combination of tech and touch in the Foundation for Fighting Blindness. We've all come to know the Foundation Fighting Blindness by its 3 letters, FFB. And today, in my closing remarks, I'd like to suggest 3 other letters. Let's use PPP to work for FFB. And let me tell you what I mean by that. The first P stands for pause. And I'd like for us to pause and reflect on what we have learned these last couple days, what has been important to you, and to reflect on what has been accomplished and what is still yet to do. The second P stands for prepare to partner. Prepare to partner with FFB in whatever way makes sense to you as an individual, as a helper, as a patient. Whatever way makes sense, we all want to partner with FFB. And the last is to persevere. FFB's 50-year history has shown that they are an organization that is going to persevere. So let's take a closer look, and let's stop and look at each one of these P's. When we pause, let's think about what you have learned, what you have appreciated, how you have been touched, and what you have learned about the technology, but also how you have been touched by those you have come in contact with, both the speakers and with each other. And then let's pause and really celebrate the accomplishments that have been made, knowing full well that there is so much yet to be done. And in the words of Helen Keller, we have to keep optimism at the forefront of our frontal lobes. And she said, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. So let's keep optimism right up there at the top and keep our hope and our perseverance in check when we can pause and recognize that we have done a lot, but there's yet much to do. Let's move on to prepare, to partner with FFB. We have seen many ways that the scientists, that the chapters have partnered with this organization for a long, long time, and hopefully for a long time to come. And FFB partners with scientists, with companies, with patients, and they pave the way to show us the way to be collaborative and constructive. And so each of us can find our own way to partner with FFB, whether that's getting involved in a chapter, whether it's volunteering in other ways. And one of the ways I'm partnering with FFB is to be one of the co-chairs, along with David Brent and Robert Heidelberg, in the Victory for Vision campaign. And while we have an ambitious monetary goal, it's not the only way that both staff and volunteers are reaping benefits from that campaign. And however you choose to partner, whether it's through the chapters, whether it's making a donation to the campaign, or whether it's finding a new and innovative way to partner with FFB, all this is important so we can prepare. And in the words of Yogi Berra, he says, doing the little things can make a big difference. It's not the size nor shape of the partnership, but you can make a difference. And now I'd like to have a little audience participation and find a way for you to partner with somebody that's next to you. So I'd like for you to find someone that's sitting next to you, and for the next 5 or 6 minutes, I'd like for you to talk about these two questions. The first one is, what have you learned or enjoyed during your Vision's 2022 experience? And the second one is, as a result of being here at this wonderful conference, what will you do after you leave to help advance the Foundation's mission and envision the next chapter? So I'm going to be the timekeeper, and I have my bell here. And so I want you to find someone to partner with, and for the next 5 minutes or so, I want you to share your ideas about those two questions. And I'm going to ring the bell about halfway through, and that means if the other person hasn't had a chance to talk, give that partner a chance. Okay, so why don't you begin and find someone next to you that you can share your ideas about envisioning the next chapter. Time to switch. Let your partner talk if they haven't already. Okay, I'm going to call time in. Time in. We have some microphones available and some runners who will come to your tables. I love the energy. I love the chatter. It sounds like you have lots to say. So let's take a few minutes to hear from you about what you shared. Thanks for pausing and for partnering. And so if we could take some responses to that first question, what is it that you learned, or what did you enjoy most about attending this Visions 2022 conference? So let's hear it from somebody. Don't be timid. Yes, we have someone over here.
Hello. Well, one thing I've learned after coming here for about 14 years is that the group of attendees came with knowledge and really good questions this time around. With specific questions to be answered, it just seemed like a very knowledgeable group of people that attended this year. And I'm not saying years past were not, but you know, they did much better this year.
That's great. You know, I have part of my value system is that we don't all have to be experts with the answers, but we sure do know how, we sure do need to know how to ask questions. And so to your point, I think I appreciate that too, about people coming and being curious and being ready to ask questions. That's how we all learn and grow, and that's how we find answers to questions, right? Thank you. What else did you learn, or what did you enjoy about being here? Let's hear from some more.
The thing I enjoyed the most is I was diagnosed with I was diagnosed with ulcer syndrome 2A, and the thing I enjoyed most was connecting with other people with the same condition that I have, which is something I've never been able to do in the past, as well as just networking with other individuals and researchers and doctors, and that's been incredible.
Yes, I agree. It's such a big community, and if any of you attended the session right before this one, you know, Anne, who was the presenter, talked about being so touched by the sense of community that's here, and I think all of us experienced that in some way. So I'm glad you found a community, Jake, and I look forward to seeing you again. What else did you enjoy, or what did you learn, either in the tech or the touch area of this conference? Can't see very well. Yes?
Well, my fiance invited me to attend this with him because he has Stargardt's, and I said, sure, I'll go with you. But before we came, I said, now, am I going to be able to stay in the room or do stuff that I want to do while you're at the conference? And he said, well, I'd really like you to go. And so I did, and I have been twice blessed. I mean, it's just amazing to learn about what he's going through. And I have cornea issues and cataracts problems, and I thought, you know, that was the worst thing there is. But I've been very humbled to meet these people with, you know, 10 times worse conditions and how they just sail through it. They have, you know, found resources and just used everything so wisely. And I'm, you know, I think it's going to bring better communication between us, because when he says, where is this? And I point, and he says, honey, I can't see that. I will be more empathetic, you know. So I have been really grateful to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Who else wants to share what you learned or what you enjoyed most about Visions 2022?
Well, I learned two key things since I got here. First is that it's about a 5-mile walk from my room to this conference area.
Hey, you get on those steps. You know, the Apple Watch wants to count those steps.
The second thing that I learned is looking back to Visions 2018. I recall that basically there was a lot of excitement because there were a couple of clinical trials starting, and there were 2 or 3 that were getting ready to start. scroll forward in time to 2022, and it seems like to me that there's like dozens that are in progress and many more getting ready to start. That's what inspires hope in all of the people who are here. That is visible progress. And I would like to thank the foundation for that, because that's the thing that we need is hope.
Yes. Absolutely. And when I think about, what I have seen over the past decades and the recent decade with the explosion of the information and the progress that has been made, it is really a cause for hope. But it's also a cause to say we have to keep those funds coming, because if there are not funds in the pipeline, we can't continue that research, both at the basic bench level and at the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 studies, where we get those products into the clinic, and most importantly, to the people who can use them for treatments and cures of these complex diseases. And I'm thankful, I'll just add right now, I'm thankful that I could be here with my daughter-in-law, my beautiful daughter-in-law that I've come to love and know over the years, and she suffers from RP. And I'm so happy that she and I could experience this together, because we've learned so much, but we've also shared so much in terms of both the tech and the touch. So let's take a couple more, and then I want to move to the second question.
What I have learned and also enjoyed during my time here is my husband and I have been involved with the foundation for many, many years. And over the years, our support has been there, but the light and our belief in the foundation's work has just kind of fallen to the side. So we have been re-inspired and reignited and remotivated to stay involved and become more involved once again with the great work of the foundation to help support all of us and help all of us to move the cure forward faster.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support. We appreciate that. Okay, I do want to hear something about the second response. What will you do after leaving Visions to partner with FFB to envision a bright next chapter for FFB and for all of us who are so wanting to find treatment and cures for these complex retinal diseases? So let's hear it from a few people. What did you decide that you would do after leaving today? Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay, good. My niece and I were talking about some of the great things that we've seen here and talking about ways to get them into the chapters, and make that available to the chapters to be able to work with. And so that's what we were thinking through, how to make that happen.
Great, that's great. I am so pleased that the FFB have seen their way to get professional staff to be of assistance to these chapters, because these volunteers, and as we saw in those awards, what amazing things do those chapters provide for the people in their geographic areas. It's just impressive. And I'm just delighted to hear that you put some effort and energy toward moving that chapter activity along. That's terrific. Thank you so much. What else will you do to envision the next chapter so that FFB continues its mission? Another couple responses.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, where are you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm here with my son. I've really enjoyed the conference, and he wanted to add something that he enjoyed from the conference as well.
Oh, great.
I liked learning a language I never knew existed.
So he went to the exhibit hall and learned about Braille and has learned a lot about the diseases that affect sight, which affects our family as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. We hope to see you at another Visions conference. Let's take one more, and then we're going to wrap it up here. Another, what will you do to envision the next chapter in whatever way you can help? Oh, thank you.
Well, you know what? It's right here on our bell. Find your local chapter. Over the last couple of years, we've all been kind of lax because of the virus and all that going around. And I don't think I've heard from mine in the last couple of years, but I think we all need to step it up a notch and locate them and get back to doing it.
Thank you. That's great. Okay, thank you for taking time to pause and partner and think about these two questions. And let's move to the last P. The last P is persevere. And as I said earlier, FFB's 50-year-long history shows a lot of perseverance. And that's what we need for these difficult, complex diseases. And persevering means that we have made strides, really good strides, but there's still much to do. And we know that this is not for the faint-hearted. We know that this is not for the faint-hearted. We have to stick to it, and we have to persevere. And I think that someone used, we have to keep hoping. And I think hope is one of the things that is truly a human quality that cannot be taken away from us when we persevere and we partner and we pause to think about the things that we can do to truly make a difference. And your presence here at this Vision Conference has shown that you are already a committed and dedicated and persevering partner with FFB. And I encourage you to continue that commitment, and so that we can all win in this together, and there will truly be a victory for Vision in the next chapter. And in the words of Desmond Tutu, who talked about hope, he said that hope is being able to see that there is light despite the darkness. May we all carry hope forward in all that we do, in all our efforts. And now I think it's time to do what that says on our bell. We will move beyond possible to victory for Vision. And let's hear it. Okay, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for attention for these closing remarks. I want to thank Ben and Jason. Jason, I'm going to hug you. I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you for coming. Be safe, travel well, and remember that you can make a difference. Thank you.